Hello and welcome to Portman Road. This sound indicates an important announcement.
Hello again, friends, and you are my friends, and welcome to another Matchday Ticket with me, your host. I'm so excited to be here with you this evening. It is, of course, a big game in the world of Ipswich Town, and it's hit me, really. I don't often get games where I think, oh, you know what? But today, walking up those steps, freezing cold, nice cup of coffee in my hand, the smell of the grass, and, of course, that famous woo, 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 woo. You can't beat it, you can't replicate it, and of course it's nights like tonight where it's such a big game that you really wish you were there, but we can't be. So let's all be together and celebrate Alan Judge in midfield the right way. Let's celebrate a lone striker the right way. I think that's the majority of what one of our contributors was saying on Saturday anyway. She got a lot of love on the podcast on Sunday from all of you, so I'm sure she'll want to thank you all. As always, you can, of course, help this show to grow by sharing it on all your platforms. So if you're watching on Facebook, share it on your timeline. If you're watching on Twitter, retweet it. And if you want to help contribute to the show's upkeep, there is a link in the chat. I can finally see our second contributor is in the VIP room, so I can bring those in just a second. Thank you all for your birthday messages. It really, truly means a lot. And I was asked, do you want to do this show tonight? I was like, of course I do. With my fellow town fans, I want to be with you all. So let's bring one of you in. Let's bring in our town correspondent from up north. It is, of course, the world famous Amy Downs. Amy, welcome back. How are we?
I feel like, Big Bang Theory, when Sheldon gets cut off halfway through, like, one of his tapping on the door and he don't finish it and he's there chomping at the bit. I feel like I need to say, in the event that we need to evacuate the stadium, please follow the rules.
You'd be advised of the route to follow. Please listen carefully to any messages.
And follow the instructions given.
And then there's always that really bad PA thump at the end. Bump. And every time it gets me. Oh, what a time. I can't see.
You gave me goosebumps with that. I loved it. God, I miss her.
I know, so do I. After years of being annoyed by her, I miss her so much. I miss that seat, Block B, Row E, Seat 1. When we're back, come and see me. I've got some comments flying in, which I love to see. Obviously, birthday messages, and I thank you all for that. Johnny Duncan, all them strikers, will this been a 4-4-2 switch, which proved when it's proved needed? Will it ask? Prove me wrong, Paul Lambert. Jordan, good to see Johnny Douglas presenting the show again. Fuck off, you cheeky sod. Okay, right. With that, we will bring in the true midfield maestro. He is currently on loan at Chorley Travel Lodge. It is Mr. Neil Moles. Neil, how is the?
Hello there.
I would say, how is the Chorley Travel Lodge Wi-Fi holding up your end?
I don't know. I paid for some premium this time, so.
Ooh, very nice. Very nice.
Might be better.
It might be better. Hopefully 3 points tonight. It's a big game, isn't it? It's a huge game, this one, for many reasons. Amy, why is it a big game for you? Before we get into the team, why is it a big game for you tonight?
Well, I think that we know whenever you look at us doing well, there is a section of our fans who rightly point out that, but we haven't beaten anyone in the top 6 yet. And that, for me, it's tonight is important because of that. And also probably because I fully expect it to be a defeat. So if we win, I'll be over the moon.
Neil, why is it a big game for you from your town point perspective?
The only reason I would consider this a big game is, yet again, it'd be nice to beat someone in the top 10, basically. Other than that, if I'm honest, this is more of a freebie than the last game.
Oh, okay.
You would accept a hit on against Hull, whereas
Ooh.
some of the other teams where we instantly think, oh, we're bigger and better than those, we should be getting 3 points. And yeah.
Hawk says, huge game tonight, I feel. Time for the players to step up and make ourselves heard in this league. I'd like to know your guys' perspective. Why is it a big game for you? I've seen big game all day on social media. So why is it a big game for you? What makes it a big game? And what do you want to see out of it? I know there's a lot of frustration at Paul Lambert, and I know I seem to be the only cheerleader left in the camp. But what does he need to do tonight to sort of appease you, win you round? The podcast Sad Sunday, which I couldn't believe. Some people were upset at winning. I will never be upset at winning a game of football. I don't know how you two feel on that. I know Amy gave us a little bit of thoughts on Saturday, but Neil, I don't know if you heard that, but some people were upset at winning Saturday. Do you get on board with that, or do you also, agree with what they're saying and that it just papers over cracks?
Well, I was a little bit busy on Saturday, even though I had the game going, so I didn't have it as my primary attention, but I kept turning around and seeing what was happening to it, and I might have had a slightly different perspective, but I was quite happy. The result came in, and I was happy with that. Yet again, you could end up saying, "Oh, we didn't do this, we didn't do that," but how many weeks are we going to keep complaining about not being Barcelona? So.
Well, quite. Yes, Barcelona with a midfield of Hughes and Judge. Rob Pooley, it's so crucial we win tonight and we win convincingly. We have to make a statement. Harry Butcher, thank you for the birthday messages, Harry. Big game for me because if we don't beat anyone in the top 6, then we are not going up. Jacob Farrow, rant-free show for Martin's birthday. Oh, no. Rant away. If we need to rant, we will rant. Louis Sharp, unless we win 5-0 tonight, then there's nothing Lambert can do. And I do get that feeling, Amy, that unless you come out and you literally batter an opposition, you're not going to win anybody around just with 3 points anymore.
He's got a lot of ground to make up. There's absolutely no question about that. And I was, that I was ranting about him on Saturday until 97th minute. I was fuming. And I can see where people are coming from. The winning goal, I get what they're trying to say, that in their heads, if we'd lost that game, he would have got sacked. But for me, the thing is, he wouldn't have done. No. So of course I'd rather see us win from an exciting last minute winner. I'm a Town, that's why we're there watching the game, because we want to see the boys win. Of course we do. I don't think he'd have gone even if we had lost on Saturday. So I'd rather see us win anyway. Is it papering over the cracks? Yes, definitely, because that was a dire performance. He needs, for me tonight, we need 90 minutes performing. We haven't got going until the second half in too many games so far. Mm-hmm. And if we do that today, we will be way behind.
Yes. Well, yeah, I completely agree with that. And this is a big test to see if they can put a couple of those one-half performances together. David Pascoe, welcome in, David. We're pleased you can join us. Is McGuinness fortunate to keep his place tonight? We'll get into the team very shortly, but I would agree with that. Harry, a bad performance won't get us anything in this game. Alex Wilson, huge game as we fans need to pull together. At the end of the day, the points are what matters. MW, big game, not must win. Direct comparison versus promotion rival. We simply have to begin showing performance and players can beat top 6. Hawks need to roll these over tonight. No excuses anymore. And Leando, he's not getting the sack whilst we are in contention, and I completely agree with that. And it is 350th league appearance for Luke Chambers. Wow, congratulations, Luke. Right, let's have a look at the team news. So the team today, I've still got it as a 4-3-3. I still think it will be a 4-3-3.
That's what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, agreed.
I've rushed the spelling of Norwood. I've just changed that. While you discuss Chambers, Wolfenden, McGuinness and Ward, talk to me about that back four. Happy, sad, indifferent. Is McGuinness fortunate to keep his place? What do you feel?
I don't think he's too unfortunate or too fortunate to be keeping it. He's a young player. He's good. Youngsters normally have little blips in performances. They're never consistent. So, but to have Wolfie next to him, then it's all good for me.
Yeah, is it pleasing to see Wolfenden back? And on Saturday there was a lot of talk, me, yourself, and Rob, Amy, that we wanted Wolfenden back in the team. Is it exciting to see Wolfenden and McGuinness partnered in a big game like tonight?
Absolutely, this is what we said, wasn't it? I was dumbfounded that he was left out at first, and then we were like, well, actually, it does kind of make sense. And today may prove whether he got it right or wrong, dropping or keeping Wolfie out on Saturday. But yeah, of course, happy to see him there. You've got to play your best defence, and I do think that maybe ours. I'm not sure whether I'd pick Wilson instead of McGuinness, but I think that's our strongest at the moment, isn't it? I certainly would probably pick McGuinness over Enciala personally.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, that, Neil, because I personally feel McGuinness and Enciala have both got a mistake or three in them. I really accept the fact that Enciala probably we've seen more of. There's not much separating them. I'll be brutally honest. That's my perspective. I mean, you're a defender yourself, Neil. What you've seen them play. What do you think?
Other than early on in the season, where Enciala was picking out loads of passes and things like that, I wouldn't have considered that part of his game. Whereas McGuinness, he seems a lot more comfortable on the ball, and he takes control, even though he's only young. He takes control, but as you say, with his inconsistencies, in a young player, it started to creep in.
Absolutely. MW, I'm properly bored of our fans chasing manager after manager from ITFC. It goes on and on. He is accountable, but we would be mental to remove a manager mid-season at this point, at this end of the table. I do agree a little bit with that. Mark?
Yeah, we should have removed him in May.
No, that's not a way to talk about our leader. Mark Bliss, Enciala's a liability and would make Tony Adams or Martin Keown nervous playing next to him. Those were the days, weren't they? Premier League days of Keown and Adams. Harry Butcher, McGuinness is better with Wolf next to him. Adam Flatt. Argument both centre-backs have been changed from Saturday. And Johnny Duncan. All 11 need to be put on their best performance tonight to make us look a scary team to play against. At the moment, can't believe they are where they are in the mid-table. A lot of comments coming in about our midfield three. McGavin, Hughes and Judge. It is a three. I mean, it could be a 4-4-2, which in that case it'd be McGavin and Hughes as your central pair. But either configuration, what do you feel about that midfield three, Amy? Are you looking at it thinking, yeah, like that can really deliver today? Or are you worried about it being overrun? Where do you stand on McGavin, Hughes and Judge?
Well, I think McGavin, we talked a lot, didn't we, on Saturday about him being sort of like a holding midfielder, him being the defensive side of that midfield, and that I think from Saturday's performance, if I'm remembering right, he was fine, he was good, he was possibly one of our better players actually, so definitely think he should have kept it. My issue is whether I feel confident in Hughes and Judge. But without Bish and Downs, we haven't got many other options, have we, at the minute? So, like, in terms of that central part of midfield. So I feel like he's gone for experience there, and unproven, well, perhaps previously proven quality, but I feel like he's gone for experience against an experienced side. This is a former championship side against a former championship side, and they are, to an extent, championship players. I'm going to get ripped for that, aren't I? So that's what I'm going with, experience tonight.
Well, no, exactly. And obviously you mentioned McGavin there, Neil. McGavin, it's a big game for him tonight, isn't it? It's a big chance to it's one thing looking impressive against Shrewsbury, but as Amy says, this is a championship team this time last year.
He's still finding his feet in the team, though, isn't he? But the last game he had was... That was a cracker for me. He was one of our best players, so I was very pleased. And I haven't really seen a lot of him other than that, to be honest. So,
how about Judge?
It was good to see it.
Talk to me about Judge, because this is a player that keeps his position.
Do I have to?
In. Well, yes, we do, because it's for that very reason that we do. Because Jack Lancaster last week, I think, was involved in both goals. Certainly the second. Played well, I think. I know Benjamin Michael disagrees ever so slightly with that. Does Alan Judge, is Alan Judge doing to warrant this place for you, Neil?
Play well. That's what he needs to do. First time this season, if he does it.
That's a stinging attack. That is. So you're not a fan of Judge then?
Not this season, no.
Any season?
I'm not. He was okay when he first came on the scene, and well, I don't know if he was really on it, would we have got relegated?
It's true. Obviously, you saw him Saturday, Amy. What do you want to see more of? Not more of. That's the wrong question. More from him, because on Saturday he was poor. Let's not beat around the bush. Normally, I'm very kind to all players, but Saturday he was really poor. You ripped into him. Rob ripped into him. What's he got to do today, Alan Judge?
I just want to see more of him. He was non-existent on Saturday, and every time I come on the show, I say that I'm a big fan of his. I always have been, and I think I've given him a lot of leeway because I thought he was a quality signing when we signed him. I thought he was going to be great. He hasn't, unfortunately, lived up to that, but I don't think that's entirely down to him. It's the fact that the team is where it is, but I don't know. He just needs to be doing. He is at his best when he's getting us chances, moving us up, supplying balls in. Of course, the problem is we've only got one player to supply the ball up to. So actually, the thing that he could be useful for doesn't have an end product because we need two strikers. Anyway, that's skipping ahead in the conversation. For me, I just want to see him moving about more, being more useful. I think putting in a few more crosses and things like that. But like I say, if we've only got one up front, he's not really got anyone to pass it up to anyway.
He seems more of one of these where he's only as good as the team he's in. He's not one that he'll drag the team up.
Yeah, good. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. He just needs to play better, doesn't he? We just want to see an international performance. Like we always hear, he's an international player. He's this and he's that. Okay, so tonight is the night to go out there and, as David just said, taking off the screen now, influence a game.
Yeah, perfect.
Be the player that makes things happen, because you're playing against players that were in the Championship last season. You're playing with a midfield that has got a young lad in charge, in midfield, getting his feet wet, as Neil rightly says. So go out there and influence something. Go out there and make things happen and play and set things up for us. And obviously, you've got Bennett's and you've got Sears. Sears is another one that questions are always about his inclusion in the team. Is he another one fortunate to keep his place, Amy, over Lancaster particularly?
See, I'm in a bit of a quandary here because I've been saying that the problem last year was that Lambert kept swapping the team round, and then what he needed to do this year round was play our best players consistently. So he obviously thinks Judge and Sears have got something to offer, and he is being consistent with his selection. So I can't really complain at him for that. But again, Sears was non-existent on Saturday. For me, that is because he's being played where he is, but he's not a striker, is he? So I just feel like Sears, you know what, actually, what you just said then, Neil, about Judge isn't the kind of player, he will play as well as the rest of the team that he's in. Sears is the kind of player who can lift the team, and I'm not convinced he's doing that at the minute. We've seen it when he was playing. I said this on Saturday, when he was playing really well before he got injured was it last season or the season we got relegated? It was last year. He was playing really well, and I think that lifted the team and that influenced the team. And when we lost him, that was a big loss. And he's not quite back to pre-injury Sears for me at the moment.
Yeah.
He scored a couple early on this season, didn't he? He looked like he might be starting to head back to what he was, but it's tailed off again with, the whole team, really.
Yeah. And obviously another player that's really got to step up, as the new Gardner and Cruncher have indicated in the chat, is Hughes, Emir Hughes. Got to step up tonight, same for Judge. And Cruncher says, big night for Emir Hughes. Is it fair to start putting Emir Hughes in the same sentence as Alan Judge and Freddie Sears, Neil?
I know he's been out injured for quite a lot of his time here, but the moments he's been in the team, he's quite an important player for us. I remember when he first was here, he was brilliant, but he did have the likes of Lawrence to
Yeah.
Yeah, well, there's one of the players I was talking about. He'll end up pulling a team monster, and then all the others can just ride on that wave. But
Yeah.
without a player of that caliber, they've all got to basically put a bit more in.
And Norwood starts up front, Amy. Still not a 2. I don't think it's a 2. It could be with Sears, but it's not Jackson and Norwood. When we were so effective last season at times with Jackson and Norwood up front, obviously Jackson goes to the bench, Norwood starts. Is it good to see James Norwood back in a blue and white shirt, starting in a League One fixture? And do you think he can play that lone role well?
Good to see him playing again. Clearly, Lambert thinks he's more match fit now than he has been recently, but I think again, we said it on Saturday, but I don't think any of our players are right to be playing one up front on their own. Perhaps Nor's more than anyone else. But for me, it's got to be 2 up front, and I would rather see Nors and Jackson if they're both match fit. I did say, one of my mates did say to me earlier, though, because I said I would have picked Jackson tonight. He said, but Jackson played Saturday and he's only just back from injury. So it's that squad rotation again for me that is the problem. That I'd rather have the same player up front all the time. If he's going to pick Nors, then stick with him. If he's going to pick Jackson, stick with him. Don't keep swapping them round. I get the fitness argument, though. I understand that obviously Lambert knows more than me on that front.
With one of the comments, Hughes playing for his contract, I agree with that. Basically, everything we see now determines whether he's going to get one or not.
I wouldn't sign him to a new deal regardless, quite frankly, because I saw a Facebook comment about how he's been injured for a couple of years. Now it's contract year. Suddenly you can play. Look, he's been injured. He's injury prone. In the salary cap world, I'd be stepping back from players like that. When you've got your young players like El Mazzani who can come back in, and I think wouldn't look out of place in this team tonight. I really don't. And can contribute the same way Emir has. As we round up to 5 to 7, obviously don't forget, guys, if you do have to pay for tonight's game, don't. Apparently it's on Sky Bet website for free, so head there and get it for free. Don't pay for it if you don't have to. What are our 3 keys for the game? I'll kick us off because this is a question I've not asked you pre-show, so I appreciate you might want a bit of time to think about it. My 3 keys are: I want to see a good game from Freddie Sears, a really good game. I want to see an influential game from Alan Judge. I want to see him pulling strings. And I want to see the whole collective stand up, cross the white line. And I don't care what was said in the changing room, what wasn't said in the changing room. The moment you cross the white line, it is your responsibility, wearing this blue and white shirt, to do what you need to do to win a game of football. And that's Chambers, that's Ward, that's Hughes, that's Judge, that's Norwood, that's every player down to McGavin. Step up, do your job, have some responsibility. They're my 3 keys. Amy, what are your 3 keys? What are you looking for?
I think I'd like to see the players treating it as the big game that we all feel it is. I would like to see them going out there looking competent, as they have done in a lot of games so far this season. My second would be, I want to see us keep calm, no panicking, no just getting rid of the ball as quickly as possible, no missed passes or whatever. Just one of the most frustrating things is that we haven't been playing forward often enough. For me, just keeping the ball is going to be the most important thing today, keeping control and keeping our calm, and being the ones that are sort of guiding the game. And then in all honesty, I just want to see North score. I want to see some strikers scoring.
Okay. Yeah. Neil? I'd love that as well myself, to be fair.
I don't want to keep, saying the same old things, but it'd be nice to actually see us as if we've had a good, training session, and they're actually going to come out like they know each other, play some actual decent football, and set pieces actually look like they've trained some set pieces.
Yeah. Beat the first man would be nice as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go out there with a bit of confidence and, push on early.
Yeah, as Cruncher says, Don't forget, we're playing Hull, not Real Madrid. But that works both ways, right? Because if you're playing Hull, not Real Madrid, your expectations, while they should be high, they need to be contained within the template of what you are, right? So Saturday's performance, we are not Hull, we are not Real Madrid, we are not Everton. We beat Shrewsbury because we're playing Shrewsbury because we're a third-tier side. So 3 points is 3 points. Just want to throw it out there to you, Crunch.
I liked one of the comments saying nothing less than 3 points, but that should basically be every game for him. Why you ever turn up not absolutely giving it your all and nothing, anything less than 3 points is just not good enough.
Absolutely. Adam Flapp wants to see us look like a real deal title challenging side. I agree with that as well. 3 minutes. Right. Score predictions. Bold score predictions time. I'm going to say 3-1 to Ipswich. Judge will score.
You would.
Sears will score. And McGavin will score. That's come on. That's bold. That's real bold. Who wants to go next?
I'm going to go 1-0 with Bennett.
Gordon Bennett. Is that a bold prediction?
1-0. No, that's realistic. Yeah. Amy would love to see goals. We've seen a little bit lacking of goals of late, so I think it will just continue.
Facebook user. They all need to be fighting for the first team place. Ips Blake 1-1 Norwood. Cruncher 1-0 Town Norwood. He also says Town win for King Lambert's birthday. Nick Muller. Ipswich 4 Hull 1. Nick loves a bold prediction. He loves it. He loves it. One day, if he bets, and I'm not promoting betting, but if he does, one day he will be a rich man because one day that pound will come off on that really long odds, and he'll be buying us all birthday drinks. Facebook user 2-0 Nor's brace. Amy, what says you?
I'm going bold. 1-0 to us.
1-0. Wow.
Because I really think that's a bold estimate.
No, I can't wait to be back here at full time with all of you, and I'm going to be sitting here so pretty because King Lambert will pull it out of the bag, and you've all got to sort of eat a bit of humble. Because Do
you know what? If we win tonight, I will stop talking about Lambert leaving for a week.
Oh, a whole week?
A whole week.
Wow. What a way to go. Christopher Martin, all this for us not being at our best and you've all predicted a win. Let's hope so. Wouldn't be Town fans if you didn't think we're going to win. Every game we're going to win. Even at that famous San Siro night, I thought we were going to win it. We didn't. Hopefully that's not an omen. But we didn't. Facebook user 3-0 Nor's hat-trick. And Callie says Emmanuel to score for Hull. Yes, so we're done. We're back at half-time. Join us then. And then, of course, full-time. The moment the full-time whistle goes, us three, and, of course, you guys will be live and get yourself on the show and have your say. But until half-time, with love, with care, don't forget Sky Bet, where the free game is, or use your ticket code for the iFollow. But we will see you at half-time.